Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the LFC Transfer Room. It's post-match reaction, Champions League semi-final, first leg coming from Anfield, Liverpool 2, Villareal 0. The stuff of dreams almost, considering it's the first leg in a otherwise pretty difficult tie. I'm joined tonight by Bob, Tar, and Damon for the full-time reaction. Bob, how are you feeling after that one? Bob?
I'm good. It's a good win. Took a while, but we got there in the end. But yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good.
Brilliant. And Tar, how are you feeling after that?
Doing great. I mean, I take it every single day of the week. Clean sheet, easy win in the end. I know that Villareal were quite a pest in the first half, but yeah, I mean, comfortable win. So on to the second leg we go.
And Damon, how about you on that one? I mean, you said just before we went on, an extra goal would have been nice, but other than that, can't ask for much more, can we?
No, you can't ask. No, can't ask for much more. We moved it. We'll move on to the next game. Newcastle next, and then get the job done there, and then back onto Villareal on Tuesday. So yeah, get the job done.
Yeah, and you know, we spoke in the preview, and I spoke on the watch along before the game. We're expecting this Villareal side to essentially park the bus at times, but in the opening 10-15 minutes, Bob, it didn't necessarily feel like that. I feel like there was a lot of space in between the lines, and Villareal didn't seem quite sure of exactly how they wanted to approach it, and we could have taken advantage of that quite early on, but they managed to shore up ship in the end. In the end, by the end of the first half, were you feeling frustrated, or did you have confidence in this team? I think Bob's just slightly delayed, so nope, I think he's gone. It's a disaster. All right, hang on. We'll get rid of him for a sec and see.
That's like you and I Emery's bus, isn't it? Just gone like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pass it on to you, Damon. It was a bit of for me. It was a bit of a strange performance from Villareal in that regard. It wasn't exactly what you expected, was it?
No, I mean they literally patched 2 double deckers, didn't they? But they got every bit of luck in the first half. I mean, every deflection were going their way, every single block were going their way. To be fair to them, they did some good blocks, but some of the deflections, I mean, they could have gone anywhere, couldn't they? And they hitting crossbar, tip post a couple of times. I mean, yeah, they got away with it in first half, I thought, and I think it was only a matter of time in the second half we scored, and so we did.
Yeah, and Tar, another thing that we kind of looked to in the preview was their midfield, although not necessarily any stars amongst it. A lot of good ball carriers, good at, you know, close, precise passing, helping with that transition and getting it forward. But again, I saw the opposite. I saw rushed passes whenever they did get the chance to play it forward, poor passes in general, and really just second best in most departments. Would you agree?
Yeah, completely agree. You look at Villareal's midfield, it's almost like a throwback to Tottenham Hotspur. You have Capu in there, you have Lo Celso, and Francis Coquelin as well, who I believe played for Tottenham or Arsenal, or one of them.
Arsenal, at least.
Yeah, or like a North London team. So it's really a group of players who weren't really that great in the Premier League, and they've tried to change them and alter them into a system that's very defensive. And I agree with you, Lewis. Like, it's not at all any working in terms of knocking it side to side, keeping possession. I thought Villareal were rushed every time they got the ball. They just looked a bit worried, didn't know what to do with it. It's as if Unai Emery taught them, okay, we're going to defend, but he didn't teach them what they're going to do after they get possession. So I thought Liverpool just bossed every department of the pitch today.
Yeah. Bob, are you coming through clear?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Yeah, good. Okay. So the question I put to you before you went offline shortly was, when we got to half-time, obviously still 0-0. Personally, I still felt quite relaxed about it. I thought, although we hadn't split them open on many occasions, I felt that we'd created enough chances to feel confident that we could get the lead. But do you think they played well in that first half, or do you think it was more a case of us not taking our chances? What do you think about it? Because for me, Villareal weren't really at the races. I don't think they came here and did what they hoped to do.
I think Villarreal came for penalties in about a week. To be honest, they came for a nil-nil here and a nil-nil over there, and just take it to penalties because there was nothing in the first half. Although I didn't feel we created that many chances, I wasn't at any point concerned that these are going to threaten us in any way, shape, or form, kind of thing. I mean, I think when we played Brighton, they had a bit more going forward than Villarreal were ever intending to do. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I was confident that would break through, and I was also confident that the away goal rule doesn't exist anymore. So, for even if they do score, it's still literally just 1-0, not potentially 2-0 or whatever it could be, however it used to work, double. So, yeah, I was pretty confident that we'll be able to get through in the end.
Yeah. Damon, excuse me, their keeper, a travesty, wasn't he, in that game?
You know what? It reminded me. I said in the writing chat earlier. I said it reminds me of like David James back in '90s. He used to be a brilliant shot stopper, but he used to flap at every single ball that came in, and he used to just drop it, or he used to just give chances, no need chances to opposition. I mean, like you said in the first half, he got so lucky with some of the saves he was making, just kept parrying out to Villareal players. So fortunate. They weren't even good parries out. They weren't like parrying out to the right and to the left. It just in front of him, and unfortunately, it didn't drop to any of our players in first half. But yeah, I saw a keeper mistake coming all the way from the first half, and in the end, second half proved to be. He cost them, didn't he? In the end, really that. And as soon as that went in, that was it. It was game over from there.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the game, there must have been 3, maybe 4 shots that were straight at him, Tar, and he still punched them away, came out diving and flapping his arms at things that most Premier League goalkeepers would catch, let alone Alisson. But, I mean, he had nothing to do today, Alisson, bless him. He's probably freezing cold, catching hypothermia in Liverpool tonight. But it's kind of a good chance to take stock at what a wonderful goalkeeper that we've got, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You look at what Rulli did for Villareal. Every single shot that came his way, he just punches it. It's not even like opening his arms. It's literally just fist, like pounding it out in front of goal. Like Luis Diaz had 2 chances in the first half where he cuts inside, bends one in. And I think every Premier League goalkeeper, not even a Premier League goalkeeper, a championship goalkeeper, would easily let it hit his chest and then just caress it into his possession. So it's absolutely astonishing almost. It's like shocking that a keeper at this level can be playing in the semifinals of the Champions League. And yeah, look, Alisson, there's going to be memes going on of Jurgen Klopp before the game, the Everton game. He's standing at a halfway line, hands in his pockets, just looking at Everton training. That was Alisson today, and Alisson played the full 90.
Absolutely. Bob, I mean, Emery's style, and I don't think it's undeserved. I give credit to Emery with the way he's gotten his team this far, is about slowing the game down, frustrating the opponents. But his goalkeeper just did the complete opposite. It gave us encouragement. It gave us hope of an outside of the box shot going in, or one of his flapped saves falling to one of us. It almost unsettled them, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like his handling was all over the place. Another thing that was frustrating me about it, well, the handling wasn't frustrating me, but what was frustrating me was his time wasting today. Following over from the weekend with Pickford, it was like, what's going on? That the time, what I don't understand why the ref don't just book you the first time you do it. Like they always have a word with the keeper towards the end of the second half. I'm like, well, he's been doing that from the beginning, but yeah, like I mean, I love our front three, but if you had like if Jota was playing today, I think he would have sniffed up one of those rebounds because he's just a proper poacher, fox in a box kind of thing. So any of them times that the keeper parried it, he would have been there. But listen, 2-0, the front three all played well, so I'm not really complaining. But yeah, we should have had more shots, really, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, a fine performance all round, and we really took advantage of that in the second half. 2 goals in 2 minutes. Rulli with a big part to play in that first goal. I know it was an own goal from the deflection from the defender, and that ultimately did put it on target. But if you go back to the preview, I said Rulli's biggest problem, apart from his handling, is that he's so keen to rush off his line. And you see it with that first goal. The ball's nowhere near him, but he's already trying to preempt it going into the 6-yard box, and he's charging out. If he stays on his line, the ball comes straight to him like that and he catches it. But he steps off and he's suddenly crawling back to try and get it. And all he can do is flip it in. So, just call me
Prime Jordan Pickford. Prime Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, exactly. Jordan Pickford, and I've had words about him and the likes of Aaron Ramsdale as well. Flamboyancy over technique is their problem, I think. But Mr. PIA says we're going to Paris, and Gary says great result, professional job. The job is almost done. Getting onto that a little bit, how excited can we feel, Tar, about a final in Paris?
Oh, book your flights, gentlemen. Book your flights. I mean, I'm sure all of you are closer to Paris than I am, but I'm just very jealous. I mean, there's no chance in the second half Villareal beat us by 3. I mean, you just look at the team. No disrespect to them. They've upset teams before. They went to Juve. They got the 3-0 win. They hung on deep against Bayern Munich and then got that away draw. But this is a completely different game now. It's not a win or a draw for them in the first leg. They have to come out attacking in that second leg, and that will completely play into Jurgen Klopp's hands. And I think Liverpool right now can shift all their attention back to the Premier League again. Don't slip up against Newcastle at the weekend. Try to stay injury-free, and then take a nice trip to Spain next Tuesday.
It's a nice tagline here by Matthias. We've damaged the yellow submarine. Now we need to sink it in Spain. I like that. I'm sure a lot of newspapers would like to take that on. Damon, what can Villareal do? And I know this sounds like we are taking it for granted and taking the piss a bit at this point, but really, genuinely, what can they do? Because as Tar says, if they come out all guns blazing, it's going to, they could very quickly be exposed because they don't have as much talent as we do going forward and in that transition. Maybe they're going to look to try and do the same thing they tried to today, but better? I don't know.
They could change keeper for a start off. I mean, that might do something. But yeah, they're not going to do anything, if I'm honest. No, you don't want to be disrespectful to them, but we're a different monster to Bayern Munich. We're a different monster to Juventus. I mean, we saw before the season started that we were fifth favourites or something to win Champions League. We shouldn't be disrespected like that. This Liverpool team is something else. And Man City and Liverpool are just two different monsters compared to everyone else. Bayern Munich are brilliant, and they are probably the third best in the world, but there's no stopping Liverpool when they play like that. Absolutely nothing stopping them, and they're just going to get the job done next week. I think we'll win again.
I mean, to bring us down slightly, Bob, we did see potential problems against Benfica in that second leg. I mean, I was confident throughout, but we did start to drop off a bit. We did concede some goals. There's obviously still a risk there. This is a football game. We know all about late European comebacks. If we look forward to that game on Tuesday, you're not expecting changes, are you? We're going to go for a pretty similar lineup, aren't we?
Well, it depends what happens on Saturday, to be honest. But if you're them, really, you're probably going to just do the same thing you've done today, and just get to 70 minutes and just try and make it a game of basketball from then on. Otherwise, if you try to do that from the off, then like everybody said, we'll just pick you off. But next week, I don't know. The way it is at the moment, as soon as that game finished, I'm more like, right, it's Newcastle away on Saturday, and like they've won 6 or 7 on the bounce at home or something like that. We play first. Man City play Leeds later on. So Tuesday seems like really far away right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how when you're going for everything, like your mind is just racing. Like you can't. It's crazy. It's exciting. It's good though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It feels like we're finally kind of understanding what players say in press conferences about focusing on the next game. Like I've always thought you've got to be thinking like 5 games down the line, but we can't even enjoy wins anymore because it's like we've still got to win the next 6 or 7 anyway. Otherwise, it's all been for nothing, hasn't it?
That's what I mean. Exactly that. That. It's crazy.
I mean,
crazy.
Tar, we've just got to enjoy these kind of things whilst they last, haven't they? Because unfortunately, it won't always last. These kind of things will come to an end eventually. Hopefully, not in the too near future. But we've won this game, and it is a case of just putting it in the back of our minds now and straight on to the next one, isn't it? Even though it's still Wednesday and the game finished about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool are just in a privileged position, and the past 4 or 5 years have just been great football around. I know last season was a bit of a tough watch at times, but other than that, we're still in every single competition late on in almost every single season. So, yeah, it's great that we're 3 4 days away from the end of April, and we're still in every single competition we were at the start of August. I mean, it's just a great time to be a Liverpool fan.
Exactly. HDS says the quadruple talk is so tiring. We have an insane team. Let's enjoy it and hope for the best. Just looking forward very briefly, because of course the other tie yesterday, which we haven't really spoken about yet, Man City, Real Madrid, crazy game. Advantage Man City. Let's assume we go through to the final, right? There's a high chance of it at the moment. Damon, who would we rather play?
I don't care.
Really?
Honestly, I really do not care. Real Madrid may be the underdogs, but the Champions League heritage like we are, and Man City they're gonna crumble in the Champions League. I just feel it. They saw that yesterday. They absolutely battered Real Madrid, battered them, and they still won by a goal. That just tells you everything about Man City, and it tells you everything about Real Madrid. Real Madrid have the players, have the nous, have the history, and it's just something about teams like Real Madrid and Liverpool. Man City have found that out the hard way, and they could find out next week, to be honest, when they go back to the Bernabeu. I mean, I'm not ruling out Real Madrid as much as I know City are a better team. Don't get me wrong, City are a better team, the clear. But this is a Champions League. This is the big boys. You've got to be stand up and be counted in every single match. And City are finding out that the hard way, unfortunately for them. I mean, they say we want to be a big club, but you're not going to be a big club until you win this competition, because you can say it's as easy as it's really not. It's really not, because if it was easier than Premier League, you'd have won by now, but you haven't. So I'll take it.
Yeah, and Anissa says, I don't get this quad talk, to be honest. I understand if the league was in our hands. So, yeah, bringing it back to the repercussions from this game, I guess, and Man City's yesterday, Tar, we, unfortunately, for some reason, the Premier League refused to put our game back on from 12:30 on Saturday, which is bonkers to me. But this game was a lot less hectic and fatigue-inducing, I'd argue, whereas Real Madrid did end up giving Man City a game, and Fernandinho came on in the second half, but he'll be knackered chasing Vinicius Junior for that half an hour stint. Do you think maybe that can play? I'm clutching at straws here, because there's not many teams who can take points from this Man City side, but does it play into our hands a little bit, even though they've still got a day's recovery ahead of us?
Yeah, I think for sure you would rather in the Champions League play a 2-0 match like Liverpool did, where you dominate the game, 60-70% possession, almost 20 attempts compared to the other team's one, then win a 4-3 match. And I think the way Karim Benzema tucked that penalty in and celebrated after that goal that made it 3-4 sort of gave Real Madrid like a morale boost that, hey, I mean, we can go back to the Bernabeu. We're a good side. We're a clutch team. And we have it in our DNA, where City's never proven to really get over that, get across the line, I should say. So it's a huge morale boost in terms of feeling positive for the second leg. Liverpool are in cruise control compared to City's. We're going to be a bit more worried. And also fitness-wise, like you mentioned, Fernandinho came in. He thought he was just going to be putting a shift in right back. He pretty much got taught how to defend when Vinicius was running at him. So, yeah, it's a slight boost, but at the same time, it's one that hopefully matters come the end of the Premier League season.
Thank you, Noman, for the donation. That's very, very generous of you. We know you bloody donate all the time, and it's getting a bit out of hand, to be honest with you, but thank you all the same. Bob, again, talking about the repercussions of this game, we're staring at a third Champions League final, barring a massive cock-up on our end, in 5 years. And this is golden era Liverpool stuff, isn't it?
These are the days, definitely. Like, no question about it. Like, obviously, like we're saying, next game, but at the same time, we have got to enjoy it, because we definitely know, I'm sure everyone here is old enough to know, that It's not always been like this. Do you know what I mean? We've had Mourinho playing in the Europa League. It just been like striving to get back in the Champions League was seemed like really, really hard work, and now it's just a regular thing that just comes about, and we're getting to semi-finals and finals. But yeah, if preference, I'd rather we played Real Madrid just so we can settle Kiev properly without Karius in goal. No, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, they're on paper they're the easier of the two. Yeah, and I don't think I can. Whenever we play Man City, the build-up just seems to be so intense. Can you imagine one for a Champions League final? we always say to them they've won nothing in Europe. I can't have the idea in my head of them winning the first one against us. Like in the league, you play them and you move to the next game next week, you forget about it. That would just be there. That's the last game of the season, isn't it? So yeah, I'd rather just play Real Madrid. If they beat us, whatever. If we beat them, whatever. See you later. They're going to be reminded about it all the time.
Yeah, that's the exact point I made on the watch along. I said, imagine, right, if Man City cock up against Leeds or what have you, and we win all our games. We win the league, we beat Chelsea in the FA Cup. We've already got the Carabao Cup. So we've got the domestic treble, and then we go to bloody Paris and face Man City and lose.
Just remember how you felt in the week leading up to the last league game we played.
Yeah,
how intense that felt, and that was just a league game in the midst of another 8 to come.
Yeah, I know it would be a domestic treble, but I genuinely feel like that would leave such a sour taste. I genuinely feel like that would ruin it so much if that was to happen.
It'll be their first one against us. No.
For that reason alone, I know it's the worst way to speak, but I'd much rather face and lose against Real Madrid. Anissa says, it's surreal. Always envied the stories my uncles had about the great Liverpool teams in the past, and now I finally have my own. Yeah, I mean, similar to what Damon was saying, and similar to what some of the pundits were saying after the game, Michael Owen, Rio Ferdinand, this is the best Liverpool team of a lifetime, really, and it's more than a flash in the pan. It's evolved beyond like heavy metal football that we saw in Klopp's early years, and we're getting to the point where we're starting to hopefully build a dynasty with a few more trophies coming this year. And, you know, as with every game, it all starts here all over again. And now, again, we move forward to Newcastle. Of course, this is only the first leg in the semi-final. There's still another 90 minutes to play. So don't want to get too carried away with hypotheticals and get too excited about things that are there's still a lot in our way obstacle-wise. So we'll leave this one here. Thank you to everybody who's gotten involved. Thank you to everybody who's been watching as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. We're almost at 3,700 subscribers, which is incredible. And we'd love to reach that tonight. We're literally 2 or 3 subscribers off. So I know someone is watching and isn't subscribed. Damon, Bob, Tar, thank you very, very much for joining me. Everybody in the live chat, everybody watching, thank you for joining. This has been the LFC transfer room post-match reaction. Liverpool 2, Villareal 0. We're off to Paris. Thank you for watching. Exactly. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care.